And the federal government plans to spend 47.9 trillion naira as budget for 2025. The Minister of Budget and National Planning made this known at the end of this week's Federal Executive Council meeting chaired by President Bola Tinubu. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
President Bola Tinubu's administration is getting set to submit its 2025 budget with a 47.9 trillion naira proposed expenditure. But first, the Federal Executive Council approved the 2025 to 2027 midterm expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. There will be 9.22 trillion naira of new borrowing to finance the deficit, as the oil benchmark has been pegged at $75 per barrel, while crude oil production is estimated at 2.06 million barrels per day, with an exchange rate of 1,400 naira to the dollar. The framework presented by the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning projects a GDP growth rate of 4.6% in 2025.
It is expected that for 2025, the federal government's budget estimate is the aggregate expenditure is estimated at 47 trillion. And this includes a borrowing of 13.8 trillion, which is 3.87% of the estimated GDP.
There is also a borrowing plan that would need the approval of the National Assembly. The coordinating minister of the economy, Wale Edun, says the executive needs an approval for $2.2 billion financing program made up of access to the international capital market.
The approval received from FEC was the approval to lay before the National Assembly the request for approval to carry out that borrowing. So it is by no means second-guessing or even preempting the role and the work of the National Assembly. It is they that will give the approval to borrow.
The minister also announced approvals granted to the Ministry of Finance Incorporated Real Estate Investment Fund. This fund is the basis for the revival and return of long-term mortgage financing to the Nigerian economy. He says 250 billion naira will be set aside in the first phase that will provide low-cost, long-term mortgages to Nigerians that want to acquire houses, and it will close up the gap in housing deficit. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.